Hey guys, I just want to say if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and share this video. Today, oh man, I don't even know where to start from. I'm quite, I'd say, sad, very sad about what has happened to one of the best African presidents in the past 10 years. If not the best ever. When you have an African president and stands up for his people, they end up dead. And this is why we have to start asking questions. Why is it that all the corrupt, useless presidents live longer than we even want them to? They don't even get sick, these dudes. But when you have an African president that stands up for his people, they end up dead. Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and so on and so forth. The only thing that music that plays in my head when I see this is Bob Marley, man. How long shall they keep killing our prophets? And I'm thinking to myself, why is this? We know what the problem is, and we know why these people get killed. But we do nothing about it. There's a lot of people are talking about he had coronavirus and all this stuff people are talking about. He's been murdered. Don't beat about the bush. Don't start trying to talk in codes or whatever codes, and just tell the truth. The guy has been murdered. There was a video that surfaced, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. If I just didn't have the time to make this video the way I wanted to make and show you these clips. But if you go on the guy's name called Louis Sport, I think it's L-U-S like Sport, Louis Sport. He has a lot of interesting clips on his video, and one of the clips he showed was how the EU, the European Union, had a meeting where the whole meeting, they just talked about Magufuli, how it was an obstruction to what they're trying to achieve. And you know what they mean when they say they're trying to achieve. They're not trying to achieve success for poor Africans. They're not trying to do that. Magufuli came in and told us we are not rich. Just a reminder, I know that, but most Africans don't know this. The stuff he was talking about. You never saw this president travel to Europe to go and take pictures. He didn't care. He traveled within Africa. Most of the time he stayed with his people in Tanzania and got things done. SGR, no loan from the World Bank, no loan from the IMF. The Tanzanians saved the money up and paid it off. It's not like it's happening in other African countries. The port, Bagamoyo port, which was supposed to be bought by the Chinese, he cancelled that deal. The only people Magufuli put in front of him was the African people, was the people of Tanzania. That's what mattered to him. And this is the type of president. If we can have 10 presidents like him in Africa, Africa will develop. Why do I think he's been murdered? You look at this guy. Within 3 years of him becoming president, Tanzania moved from a third world country to to low middle income country. He stopped using English in schools and people started using Swahili, which is what most Africa, or if not all African countries, should do. Okay? He stopped it. Then he went on and cancelled these Doge mining agreements that most Africans get, where they only benefit Europeans. They never benefit African countries. They never benefit even the African people, because these guys don't even pay their taxes. They'll give one person $2 million instead of paying $200 million in taxes. You know what he did? He slapped them with was like, I think something like $300 billion tax. And he was right about it. He was, because for all the time these guys have been working, they are making billions and billions of dollars from these African mines. While the Africans starve, these guys take all the money and live in fancy houses and fancy places around the world. He stood up for African people. And when you stand up for African people in this world where a pyramid has been created, and all the black people should be at the bottom of the pyramid, where Africa should not progress so that Europe can look good, when you stand up for Africa and you stand up for your own people, this is what you get. You know, when I watched this, when I watched the video of these Europeans complaining about him and talking about how he was an obstruction to what I knew exactly what they were saying. And I remember talking to someone. He should make sure he protects himself. Because unfortunately, for us Africans, it's very easy to get tempted. You know, if you look at how the CIA have operated, I'll give you another one. I want you to look at this video. Lee Kuan Yew and the CIA. Just YouTube that. You find a video where Lee Kuan Yew, and this is the truth, he says the American wanted to sabotage what he was doing in Singapore. You gotta remember, today Singapore is one of the richest countries in the world. Per capita, Singaporeans make more money than Americans. Okay? And that's because one man, Lee Kuan Yew, stood up for his people. Okay? And America wanted to sabotage that. The CIA started talking to one of his MPs so they can sabotage the whole thing. It's not just Lee Kuan Yew. Recently, the Chief Justice of South Africa, again, gone Louisport this time. You know, you'll find this, the Chief Justice of South Africa, who's trying to bring in law and order in the country in the right way, not law and order where it only kills black people and you claim as law and order. You know, if you are in America, you know what I mean. Law and order, Ronald Reagan, where you see tanks coming into the African neighborhoods or black neighborhoods. That's not the law and order he's trying to bring. And a billionaire from America wanted to sabotage what this man was doing and offering him millions of dollars. Something the CIA was trying to do to an MP in Singapore. This is in the early years of Singapore's plans, when he was just poor and the guys are trying to make their country better. You know, and when Lee Kuan Yew contacted their government, they even offered him more money to keep quiet. And he said, no, why don't you give that to the people of Singapore? You see, guys, this is the only way we are going to develop. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if one of his people even in his government, or one of the people that this man was that were visiting him, was given with a high dose of coronavirus or something else to slap this man with. So he had no chance of surviving. Because guess what? Trump, who is older and fatter and obese than this dude was, is still alive. He got coronavirus and he's still alive. You know, Magufuli couldn't make it. You know, I'm not saying he died from coronavirus. They haven't sort of released anything about that. But whatever killed him, you know, his wife is fine. You know how these things work. Look at the CIA operative. And also read a book called The Economic Hitman. This is how things happen. But as Africans, we should never, ever be scared. Let's stand up. Let's speak out loud. And I'm going to say this. For you guys in Ghana, protect Akufo-Addo. He's saying no to gay. He's saying we're not going to be exporting raw materials, encouraging people to start eating chocolate so that you can grow the local market before you even worry about selling raw materials, which is cacao, to European countries. You see, these are the enemies of Europe. You know, people that love us, people that love Africans, people that want to see Africa progress, become enemies of European states. It's not even like Europeans. Most Europeans are actually innocent about it. They don't even know anything. It's their governments and all these rich people. Most Europeans are just as victims as we are. That's why they show them videos of kids suffering in Africa and people donate money to help out. When in reality, it's all these companies that go to Africa and cause all this havoc. It's all their governments that go to Africa and kill our people. Our president, the presidents that stand up for us. Look at Thomas Sankara. Look what happened to him. And the thing is, in Africa, it's easier to convince someone to do damage for them, to work for them. And Tanzania should never rest about this. They need to do a proper investigation of internal affairs, invest the government itself, and invest outside issues. Because there is no way we should allow that every time we have a man that stands up for us, they have to end up dead. You know the reason why the Europeans were unable to enslave the Chinese? Because the Chinese didn't let them. And this is where we have to come to. I was just watching a show on Netflix. It's called The Battle for Japan, Rise of the Samurai. And I encourage everyone to watch it. This is how Japan was formed. Japan was run by warlords all over Japan, each one fighting for territory. But one thing I liked about these warlords, they were willing to die for their cause. Some of them will commit suicide, what do you call it in Japan? Sakuta or whatever it's called, Sakuza, whatever they call it in Japan, where you kill yourself to die for your cause. Oda Nobunaga started the whole thing, and in the end, it was this same warlords that ended up creating a very strong Japan. But because you gotta realize, Japan is just a rock. There's no gold, there's no nothing like that in Japan. So these people became tough to a point where they even wanted to go and colonize Korea and China. Because of where they came from. And in Africa, we're too scared. We're too comfortable with our governments. We're too comfortable with our governments. And that is our biggest problem. We need to become uncomfortable so that we can create a future that we get used to. Poverty, yeah, we get comfortable with poverty. I don't understand that. We should be fighting and fighting every day, because some of the governments that we have in Africa, they're not even governments. I'll give an example of my country, Zambia. Right now, we have a president who's running that country to the ground. His party know they're going to lose. But what they're trying to do, they're fighting corruption. They claim they're fighting corruption, but they're the most corrupt party. They are even going out now, giving money to marketeers. How does that help anyone? How are you going to grow the economy by just giving money? When they've run out of ideas, they have no ideas at all. They're brainless. When there's 100 ways you can create employment. This is a country that's one of the top producers of copper. This is a country that has gold, fertile soils, and poverty. People are dying from poverty. People are starved. People have no future. Kids have no food, which means they have mental retardation, which means they're going to be dumb. That's the future of Africa. So I hope the Tanzanians don't just admit whatever they say it killed him. They need to do a thorough investigation to find out why this African giant got killed. He was murdered. Stop hiding behind closed doors. Stop beating about the bush. Stop talking in codes. Just tell the truth. This man has been murdered. And it's high time Africa started fighting for Africans. It's high time we got leaders who are fighting for us. And I can see this happening. I can see this happening. Another one should rise. Another one even better than Magufuli should rise from Tanzania. But this is what they'll do. They'll make sure they put a puppet there. And if the Tanzanians don't stand up, because what this man has shown you is you don't need to go to the World Bank. You don't need to go to the IMF. So if you have a next president and they're rushing to go to the World Bank and rushing to go to the IMF, then you got a problem. Because this is how we get controlled. This is how our wealth, our mineral wealth, everything gets taken away from us. And it's time every African stood up. Wherever you are, stand up. Let us protect the people that are doing something for us. Ghanaians, make sure you do something to protect Akufo, because I think you might be next. Diasporans, wherever you are, make sure you stand up and protect Dr. Arikana, because these people might be next. Now they're going to be using coronavirus. You know how the CIA works? Rest in power, President Magufuli. And I hope the Tanzanian government, I hope the Tanzanian children of Tanzania never let you down. I hope they stand up and fight. We have to be willing to die. That's the only way we're going to get a better life. In Africa, people don't even live that long. Most people die in their 40s because the health systems are crap. So why are we scared to die for something? You might as well be willing to die for something. That's why Magufuli told us, never get scared. Never. We should fight for what is right. We should fight for what we believe in. Unfortunately, we get brainwashed from a very young age. And I pray that the presidents that are there, that are left behind, the people that are going to be the next presidents, they copy what this man did. Because this is where Africa should be heading. Thank you for watching this video. And please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.